So there's this pasta dish that I've heard a lot about, but I've never tried. There's a good reason why I've never tried it. I'll explain that later. But I've heard about this dish because a ton of people have written to us about it. We get messages and emails all the time, people asking, hey, do you have a recipe for pasta con le sarde? Now, pasta con le sarde just means pasta with sardines, which I know doesn't really sound very exciting, but clearly this dish is enormously popular, especially among Italian Americans, especially those of Sicilian descent, which makes sense. It's a Sicilian dish. And just constantly we're hearing from people who they remember maybe their nonna making this dish and they're trying to replicate it at home, but they can't find a recipe that's the same, or what they find in a restaurant doesn't seem like what they remembered, but they're obsessed with it.
When I put questions out on Twitter, of all the serious ones, one popped out, which was, what is his favorite pasta dish?
Pasta con sarde.
So there must be something to this recipe, and I want to try it. So Ava's gonna make it for me today, my first pasta con le sarde. Now, she's gonna show how it's made in Sicily, and that's great, but there is a slight problem with this recipe, which is that, depending on where you live, it can be tricky to find the necessary ingredients, which is why I've never had it before. But have no fear. Even if you are in the predicament I was in, where you can't make pasta con le sarde at home, Ava does have a little trick up her sleeve that might get you close. Okay, so what's the problem with making pasta con le sarde?
This is the problem with pasta con le sarde. Not that it's a problem here in Italy, because as you can see here in Italy, it's very easy to find the fresh sarde. In America, it's a little bit more difficult. So you need to rely on those canned sardines, but those doesn't give to the pasta the real taste that the pasta should have. You need fresh sarde.
Gloves are on.
Because the first step is to clean our sardines. So you start from the head, you take out the head, then you take out intestine. You need to open, because we need the sardine open. You take out the bone, do you call bone?
The spine.
The spine. And the sardine is cleaned.
How would you say these differ from fresh anchovies, which I'm more familiar with?
Because the sarde, they have a fattier taste. They have a stronger taste. They are not so delicate like the alici. They have more bones than the alici. And actually with the sarde you can do a lot of things, not just pasta con le sarde. You can fry them, you can make them into a cutlet, you can make the tortino, you can use as a stuffing, you can make from the north of Italy sarde and saor. So let us know if you want more recipe with sarde, because now they are so easy available.
Yeah, for us.
For us, yes. And now we need to wash them just one by one under running water, fresh running water.
As opposed to salt water?
No, to hot water.
Oh, cold running water.
Fresh, cold.
I was confused.
Here I have a pot of boiling water, and here I have some fresh wild fennel. My dad this morning went to grab this for me because he's a very good dad. But if you can't find the wild fennel, you can also use the frond of a normal fennel that you find in every grocery shop. Maybe it doesn't smell like the wild one, but it will work. What we need to do now is salt the water, and we boil the fennel for about 5-7 minutes. And while the fennel is cooking, we need to prepare the cheese for poor people, or as I like to call it, the vegan cheese, Sicilian style, which means that we need a pan, olive oil, and breadcrumb. We are going to toast the breadcrumb on a medium-low heat because we don't want to burn it, we want just to toast it. In Sicily, this is called mollica turrata, and this is used in Sicily as a topping instead of cheese for a lot of their traditional recipes. When the breadcrumb start to brown, you know that it's done. So fennel is ready. Don't think to throw away the water because we are going to cook the pasta into this water. Now is the moment in which we can start with the sauce. Unlike most of the Sicilian recipes, also this is going to use raisin. But before we use the raisin, we need to soak the raisin in some water. Keep in mind that you should soak the raisin for about 10 minutes. Now we need an onion. Here, I'm in Calabria, I'm going to use the wonderful tropea onion. Use whatever onion you like or you prefer or you have. So we start with olive oil, onion, and we're going to add 2 anchovies fillet.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just pasta con le sarde, it's also with anchovies.
The anchovies is something that just give that kick. And now we need to saute the onion a little bit and dissolve, make the anchovies completely dissolve into the oil. I'm going to use medium-low heat because I don't want to burn the onion and I don't want my anchovies start to splash everywhere. Because this is what happens if you put anchovies in hot oil. This is another fundamental Sicilian ingredient. Saffron.
Oh, I thought you were going to say water.
No, saffron Harper. We are going to add a small bag of saffron, but we need to melt the saffron into some water. Another staple ingredient in the Sicilian cuisine is pine nuts.
You can't have pine nuts without raisins and vice versa.
Bravo, Harper. I know. I see that you learned the basic of the Sicilian food. After a minute that pine nuts and raisin are making love with the rest of the ingredients,
Whoa.
this is a very passionate recipe, is the moment in which we are going to add our sardines. Now, we need to cut the sardine in half and put inside.
It smells delicious, but I do have to say, I don't think I've ever smelled a pasta quite like this. It's very unique.
And now you're starting to understand why all the people are obsessed with this. And now is the moment of the fennel, but we are not going to put the fennel like this inside. We need to chop it. We need to salt, black pepper. I'm going to add just a little bit of the fennel water, and I will let this simmer for about 10 minutes. So the sauce is done. I'm going to turn off the heat because the last step is to cook the pasta. Now, Harper, I want to understand if you really are into the Sicilian food. Which kind of pasta we are going to use?
Okay, I know the answer, even though you have it sitting right next to you, but of course it's bucatini.
Of course it's bucatini, because Sicilians are obsessed with bucatini. I love Sicily, I love my Sicilian friends, but I don't understand their obsession, because I don't like bucatini at all. But I follow the tradition, I respect them.
You know as well as I do that there are some recipes
I
that
know,
bucatini
bucatini alla
is just
matriciana,
amazing.
pasta con malutempo, sì, I know. I know that they work very well. But as pasta itself, I prefer spaghetti. My mom, for example, she loves bucatini. My dad, he loves bucatini. I'm going to add a little bit of pasta water into the sauce. and I turn on the heat on a very low temperature, low heat, because like every pasta dish, it's better for me to take the pasta very al dente and finish to cook it into the sauce. Believe me that the smell of this pasta is amazing.
I can confirm. Now the most challenging part of this recipe, plating bucatini.
It's impossible. There is no way in which you can plate the bucatini. So, Harper, are you ready to try your first dish of pasta con le sarde?
Absolutely.
But before, you need to tell us about today's video sponsor.
You know how frustrating it is to go into a cell phone store and try to get a new cell phone plan? Now imagine doing that in a foreign country where maybe you don't even speak the language. If you like to travel and if you like being able to use your phone while you do, then it's time to check out UBG. UBG is an app that allows you to get flexible eSIM data plans in over 200 destinations worldwide. No more exorbitant data roaming charges. With an eSIM plan from UBG, you can find a plan that is made for you so that you have all the data you need while you're on the go. You can check your email and your messages, surf the internet, use your GPS. No need to do everything while you're just on hotel Wi-Fi. There's no commitment, you're not locked into some crazy subscription with a bunch of strings attached. And the best part is how easy it is to set up. An eSIM is an electronic SIM card. It's virtual, so you don't need to go into a store and get an actual SIM card and deal with putting it into your phone and finding the little pin and everything. In just a few clicks, you set it up on your phone in the app, choose your plan, and it activates as soon as you reach your destination. You can recharge your plan at any time, even if you're not on Wi-Fi, even if you don't have any data credit left. We've done some tests on our own and found that UBG actually gets better coverage than just our normal Italian SIM cards here. That's because UBG normally is partnered with multiple different providers, so they'll actually find the best connection for you depending on where you are. If you love traveling but want to stay connected, download the UBG app today. Visit the link down in the description below and use promo code PASTAGRAMMAR for a 10% discount. A big thank you to UBG for supporting the channel.
It looks amazing.
It does look amazing. It smells amazing.
And it tastes amazing.
Well, I'm gonna find out, aren't I now? I gotta say, there's a lot of things in here that I like in other pasta dishes. The breadcrumbs, the raisins, the pine nuts, but it smells different and looks different than anything I've ever had. Oh, bucatini.
Bucatini. That is
Bucatini.
the tricky part of the bucatini. Not just plating them, but also eating them.
Okay, wish me luck here. Buon
Good luck.
appetito. Oh, that is not what I imagined.
In a good or in a bad way, Harper?
In a delicious way, but I was really expecting the sardines to be much more fishy. I mean, I'm used to just thinking sardines and you think like anchovies, that sort of heavily preserved, super salty, super fishy fish. Nope, that
Because-
is very delicate.
Because fresh sardines, they are delicate.
Ah, bucatini, I love you and hate you. It's really good. It's a really good fish.
Good morning, Harper.
I don't know anything about fresh sardines. This is the first time I've had them. I am completely on board with this. I completely understand why someone would be obsessed with this dish. Now I understand why everyone wants to know how their Nonna made this. I want to know how Nonna ate the bucatini.
Me too, actually.
Okay, this is an amazing plate of pasta. You're dying for a bite, aren't you?
Yes, Harper.
It's not just me.
No, I have the only problem that I have this with pasta dish is the bucatini. Look, because it's swingiano. I bucatini swingiano dappertutto.
Yeah, it was so good.
Ok, buon appetito. What can I say?
It's so good. It's so good.
It's one of those pasta dishes that makes you understand how good and beautiful Sicily is, even if you've never been to Sicily. And the sardines, fresh, they taste so delicate. They are so full of flavor.
It's probably one of the best fish I've ever had.
Oh.
I really think so. It really blew me away.
And it's one of the cheapest fish that you can find. That
Well,
nobody,
here.
yes, here, because nobody wants it. Because it's not like so precious, like, I don't know, salmon or I don't know what, but it's one of the best.
What does someone do if they can't find fresh sardines? Okay, yeah, I don't see any sarde here.
You don't see any sarde because this pasta is called Pasta Con le Sarde a Mare, which means that the sardine, they stays in the water, in the sea. So we are not going to use the sarde.
So this is literally the Sicilian pasta for if you don't have sarde.
Sì, they call this Pasta Con le Sarde a Mare. The ingredients are more or less the same. The technique is the same. We have just some few differences that they make a difference in the pasta. Like before, we start with the fennel that we need to cook for about 5-7 minutes in boiling water. As before, we are going to start the sauce with olive oil, onion, and we are going to add the anchovies. But this is the first difference because while before I used just 2 anchovies, this time I'm going to use 4 anchovies.
So you're doubling down on the anchovies.
Yes. And we are going to add pine nuts, raisins that we soaked before, our saffron. I'm going to add this time the saffron directly into the sauce because I'm going to add another liquid that you will discover in a few seconds. Second big difference is that while the pasta con le sarde is a white pasta, this pasta with sarde and mare uses a little bit of tomato paste. Third difference is the wine, because before we didn't use any wine. In this case, we are going to use a little bit of white wine.
All right, quick little pro tip here. Never wear a white shirt when you know that you're going to be eating bucatini. In my defense, I did not know that pasta con le sarde is made with bucatini. Ooh, this is a very beautiful pasta. Like, it's super creamy. I like the red color of the tomato paste. It looks promising.
It smells good.
It smells very good. Very different though, very different.
Because the sardines, they are still in the sea.
You know, you can try to eat bucatini like spaghetti and it just, it's not gonna happen. Buon appetito.
Almost there.
Oh, you see? You see?
The bucatini revenge.
Oh, the bucatini got me. Okay, first things first, amazing plate of pasta. Now I wish that I could stand here and say, oh, it's totally fine if you can't find fresh sarde. Just make this, it's a perfect substitute, you'll never tell the difference. No, definitely not the same. Missing the sarde, of course, but this has a lot of the elements that are really good in pasta con le sarde. The fennel is amazing. It's actually a much stronger pasta. It's kind of funny how just 2 little anchovies are way more powerful than 12 whole sardines, more of a strongly flavored pasta, which, hey, might be a good thing depending on your taste. It's a really good plate of pasta.
Can I have a bite?
I'm considering it.
I'm trying to master how to eat bucatini. And actually, I never had so much bucatini in my life like today. Buon appetito! I'm a fish lover. Pasta con le sarde is up there. Is in the Olimpo of the Sicilian pasta. Is this pasta con le sarde? No, because the sarde, they are still in the sea. It's also real that if you can't get fresh sardines, you can make pasta con le sarde a Mare, and it's very, very, very close to the real deal. Maybe much more than using sardines in a can.
Yeah, I feel like using sardines in a can would be much further away from what the actual pasta con le sarde tastes like.
I completely agree.
Well, that's bucatini for you.
Everyone in Italy knows that if you have a shirt like that or a t-shirt like that, you hate bucatini for lunch. With a big, how do you call bavaglio?
Like a bib?
See?
I do need a bib. What happened? I had, way back when, I had a I Love Calabria bib. I'll just wear it always, just in case. Just in case bucatini. Yeah. If you try to make pasta con le sarde at home, whether it has sardines or not, tag us in a picture on Instagram or Facebook at Pasta Grammar. Like this Pasta Grammarian, who made
something that looks amazing, unbelievable, beautiful. I can imagine the smell in that kitchen.
I know, I can smell it right now. Sherry made an amazing looking porchetta. It looks just fantastic.
Perfect. Sherry, very, very good job.
If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time.
Ciao.